What is going on, guys? My name is Terry McGowan. This is Primal Shape, and I'm going to show you guys how to reprogram your programs logically. So really quick, I'm going to throw this in here. If you have a 6-week program, you are now going to be able to take that 6-week program without changing really much about it and turn it into a 6-month program by making just tiny little adjustments. The first one we talk about is just the angle of the body. So for instance, later on in the video, you'll see me doing a front raise. When I do a front raise, if I'm just doing it up like this here, I can do this for 6 weeks and my body will say, okay, I'm used to doing a front raise. But if I change the incline at which, the angle at which my body is, and I move into a 45 degrees over top of an incline bench, now that I'm leaning forward and I bring this weight up, well, the amount of stress that my muscles are going to experience because of the angle is going to change. I won't experience as much stress in this angle because of gravity as what I would if I was standing upright here, obviously. So now I experience more of it. Now, to answer the question, if anyone's asking it already, isn't that a trap 3 exercise when you move your body into a 45-degree angle? There's a few variables here. One is retraction of the scapula. The other one is also, which is your shoulder blade. The other one is also the 45-degree angle that your body comes out, so it's not straight up, it's actually out here. You are still activating a little bit, but it's really a shoulder stabilization technique. With having said that, when I go back to doing another 6 weeks in this angle, I could always move it back in a 45-degree angle going the other way and then lifting it. And obviously, as soon as I come up just that little bit, I'll start to feel and experience more stress on some of my muscles because of the fact that I changed my angle. So you're getting a lot more out of it. Now, once you've exhausted all of the different options of using the exact same exercise and just changing the angle, now you're able to get more out of it because we are going to control time under tension. If I do a regular bicep curl, the hardest point of my bicep curl is going to be in a 90-degree angle, which means I'm perpendicular to the floor. I come up to this angle here. If I want to change that degree without changing necessarily my exercise program, if I come in every time I do a barbell curl, I do a dumbbell curl, supinated, and then I do, let's say, hammer curls. If I want to change that, I can just change the angle simply and I can get a different workout from it. Because of the fact I've now changed the fulcrum, the point at which my muscle experiences the most amount of load. Because that changes the variable of what my workout essentially is going to be. So having said that, with a bicep curl, typically I do it in a 90-degree angle, it's going to come up like this. If I want to change that, because this is where I feel the most amount of tension on my 25-pound dumbbell at 90 degrees, I can do it with a bench leaning forward on it. So now my workout, make sure my volume's still okay. So now with my workout from here to here, this has now changed my degree and how much tension I feel in the bicep. I can come up further and feel more tension because it takes me further. It's now harder for me to get the same type of tension when I'm standing upright. What I mean by that is, here's my 90 degrees, and if I want to get a full squeeze, but I don't want to relax, like now I'm relaxing the muscle because my shoulder's taking over and I'm rotating in. This is still kind of easy because I'm holding it right, even if I retract my scapula. But if I put myself in a 45-degree angle, the tension now is really hard all the way up. We know we can do this also with our shoulders. I'm still using this because I'm going to show you guys what I mean when I'm doing, let's just say, a front raise. If I'm doing a front raise and I change the angle, if I'm coming out straight here, all my tension, again, perpendicular to the floor, so I know all of my tension at the heaviest point is going to be straight out in front of me. When I pick my hand up above my head, it now becomes a little bit easier because the weight's going straight down, and now I'm just locking out on gravity. If I put my bench in a 45-degree angle and I'm doing my shoulders, I don't feel the same amount of tension in my perpendicular position to myself because now I've changed the degree. So this is now perpendicular to myself. This is actually quite easy. This is dead weight. This is easy, and then it gets hard when I pick up. So I can actually put more tension onto my shoulders by changing my angle of my body and then coming out here. That just became a shit ton heavier, and I haven't really changed out my exercises. I can still say that I'm gonna do some lateral raises, some front raises, some, whatever, rear delt flies, whatever it is. I can still do the exact same sequence, but changing my angle will give me a different workout. And I'm just using logic. All I'm doing is just changing gravity at this point. If I want to work out all of my tricep and I want to be able to change my program without doing a completely different exercise, or if I don't know how to change my program,
The smart way to do it is by using logic again. So changing the degree at which my body is to be able to feel a different point of the most amount of resistance within that same exercise. So what I mean by that is I change my angle, just like I did in the bicep. So I change this to 45 degrees. If I change this to 45 degrees, I pull this down so that it's where it should be. But now when I do this, I don't feel as much tension in that same 90-degree angle because I'm gonna feel more of it further in my actual lift. So at 90 degrees, this is where I feel it now. I feel most of my tension right around here instead of it being up where I was when I was standing because I changed my angle. When I change my angle, I change my workouts. When I change my workouts, I get a different result out of it. And then you'll see it also at the base. This here is a lot harder to do because my body hasn't experienced this angle before, but at the base, that's where it's harder for me to lock out. Now the other thing that you want to consider is the speed. We're going to talk about eccentrically controlling the weight. That means it's the negative on the way up. This is big to be able to change out your workouts. If you're already doing a program saying doing 10, 12 reps or whatever it's telling you to do, continue to do that one if you've been doing it for a while, say 6 weeks. And you want a new program, try slowing it down. That makes a big difference because now it's time under tension. You may have heard me talk about this before, but the time under tension is going to be the amount of time that you are actually controlling the weight in that set. So if I do a push down here and I go down to, let's say within a second on the way down, so just 1 full second, nice and slow and controlled. And then on the way up, I do this for, let's say, 2 seconds. And then I pause for a second at the top. Same thing on the way down. I pause for a second down here and then 2 seconds on the way up. That puts me at 1 second on the pause, 1 second on the way down, 1 second on the pause again at the very bottom, which is now 3 obviously. And then another 2 seconds on the way up. In this case, is gonna be that negative. So it puts me at a full 5 seconds. If I do 10 reps, that's 50 seconds. So that puts me at close to 1 minute under that tension. This is a good way to not only get stronger, but also to be able to get into a state of hypertrophy. So the slower that you work out, typically the more results you're going to see, providing that your diet's in check. That's a whole new conversation. But how this would look nice and boring is I'm gonna come up slow, I'll pause, 1 second pause, just back and forth. And I can do my entire workout nice and slow like this. A little bit boring, but it gets you the most results.
All right, hope you guys liked the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. I know it's a little bit boring this time around. We're talking about eccentric load and we're talking about, angles and all that kind of stuff. If you have one of those cheap programs you got online, not to say don't take it as a bad thing, but if it's one of those ones you just picked up or even off of a friend and it's kind of poorly written where it's just like, do 3 of these times 10, and it doesn't really control how much weight you should do in there. It doesn't allow you to record the amount of time that you rest in between the sets, all that kind of stuff. Write this stuff down, change up the angles, control the eccentric load, change that up as you go over time as well. You'll get the most out of the program. And then that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Otherwise, just like Hal Johnson and Joel McLeod would say, keep fit and have fun.